if I got this. Oh, I think I messed that up. Verses 19 and 20. It says that the glory of kingdoms, the splendor of the pomp of the Chaldeans, that's a tribe within Babylon, will be like Sodom and Gomorrah when God overthrew them. It will never be inhabited or lived in for all generations. No Arab will pitch his tent there. No shepherd will make their flocks lie down there. Let's go back to that first verse for a second. He wrote a lot of things, but he wrote about the 7 wonders of the ancient world. If you've heard that phrase, the 7 wonders of the ancient world, that comes from this guy named Herodotus, according to Herodotus. So you have this Greek historian describing the splendid, magnificent, powerful. You have God speaking to Isaiah, referring to it as this splendid pomp and circumstance, so to speak. And yet God is saying here in the next verse something which is pretty alarming for Isaiah's day. In fact, not only controversial, but potentially deadly for Isaiah to repeat and to record and write down. It will, this is a prophecy, never be inhabited, or no shepherd will make their flocks lie down there. And it goes on to describe that in the ruins of Babylon, the only thing that's going to live there is owls and jackals and wild goats. Utterly uninhabitable, which is interesting because Babylon has been uninhabited for over 2,000 years now. A complete utter ruin that nobody lives there. There's been some discussion and some talk of rebuilding Babylon, which is interesting. We're going to get to that in a second. But so far, nothing has happened there. It literally is a ruined. In fact, archaeologists, it's a treasure trove for archaeologists, but they've barely been there largely because of politics and corruption and safety issues and warfare. And in fact, in the modern era, going way back even several centuries, the only people who ever set up camp in Babylon was the U.S. military when they were there back in the war with Iraq. And so that's about the only people who've ever existed there for a very, very long time, thus fulfilling this ancient prophecy of Isaiah. The reason I bring all of this up about Babylon is more is going on in Isaiah 13 and 14. So the passage that David read for us is an interesting passage. It's buried right in the Babylon and the king of Babylon, but yet it's speaking in a way as if it's talking about somebody other than the actual king of Babylon. It doesn't actually make sense if we're only talking about a human figure. It seems to be talking about something supernatural, a supernatural being of some kind. All indisputable that the king of Babylon, an example of that, well, let's kind of get to Isaiah 14:12. It says this, again, about the king of Babylon, how you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. If you're a King James reader, morning star, it doesn't say that, it says Lucifer, which is the Latin translation of that. Literally, it means light bringer. I think the ESV says day star, bringer of light, bringer of dawn, the shining one. All of those are acceptable translations. Morning star, son of the dawn, you've been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. It's a little harder to explain that as referencing a human king. But I want to take you over to the book of Daniel, just as an illustration, to see how the Bible tends to do this.